Welcome to my channel. In this video I want to swatch this new set of pastel pencils, set which I received as a birthday gift. It's made by Coloriage. I'm familiar with Coloriage brand because I know that they create a lot of children's art supplies, supplies for school, a lot of office stationery. I had Coloriage erasers, glue sticks, hole punchers, but I never think about their pencils. We don't have such pencils in our shops, but I think that they are available in Europe because even if set was manufactured in China, there are also mentioned that pencils are imported in Colombia, Venezuela, Mexico, and of course in Europe, and they have their offices in Czech Republic and in Austria. So we can see that they have pleasant colors. Unfortunately, like many children's pencils, they don't have names on the pencils. I don't know why I prepared such a huge paper for swatches. As usual, I prepared area where I can write down the name of the color, but here we will have to go just with colors. This plastic package is quite sturdy, so pencils arrived quite nicely, definitely better comparing to the cardstock package of Arteza pencils. They are triangular here and relatively big core of the pencil. They are pre-sharpened, but I think that before doing swatches I will sharpen each pencil myself, because I think that when you sharpen them for the first time, after that you can get better experience how they lay down with one layer or two layers on the paper. So I'm not a huge fan of this fabric sharpening. Well, I hope that I will manage to sharpen all of them, and after that I will rearrange them in my usual order. As usual, I swatch first yellow colors, yellow beige, then pink, red colors, but we don't have red, then green and blue. I can already say that in this set, unlike the sets from Arteza and Castle Art, we don't have gray colors, but we have 24, and it will be quite interesting to compare if there are some similar pencils, and of course it's interesting how they behave on the paper. So let's start to sharpen and to swatch. swatch card is finished. The pleasant thing is that I had any problems at all with sharpening, just a couple of rotations of my quite simple sharpener, and any problems with the dents on the wood or with breakage. Even for children they will be quite easy to sharpen without any problems. And indeed, after sharpening they behaved better on the paper. I tried to do my test pressing harder in the beginning and applying lesser pressure in the end. Even when I pressed harder here or applied couple of layers, there was just a moderate amount of dust, and again no problems with breaking, so quality is okay. And I do love how they laid even on this very simple close to office paper. With 2 layers which I did here, I was able to cover paper completely without visible white spots, so here I also was quite pleasantly surprised, and I didn't feel that waxy feeling. Of course they are wax-based pencils, but I can't see this waxy shining which sometimes we can get. Or, as I say, with a couple of layers, especially if you color more carefully, comparing to my swatches, you can definitely get nice and even coverage of the paper. Now colors. You can see that several colors are very close to one another. Yeah, these two I can accept. This one is slightly more orangey. These colors I wouldn't call pastel. We have name pastel on the set. They are more neon side of colors, but if you love to color parrots or something like this, this range of colors they definitely will be helpful. Also, between those two pinks there is quite small difference. One is more peachy, one is more pinky, but still difference isn't that great, as we can see on their cover. And those two pinks, they are also very close. Even now I don't know which one created which swatch, because they don't have names. So instead of these pinks, I definitely would prefer something more complicated, more beige colors, or more even lighter pastel colors. But yeah, that's a set not for artists but more for children, and for such purposes they are quite nice. Well, bigger amount of pencils are matching what we have on the pencil and what we have on the paper. Just a couple of them weren't very similar. This one, which creates this beautiful more violetish shade of blue, and this one, it's also not this one, not very similar. Yeah, core is of course similar to the swatch, but cover on the pencil not so. But I don't think that it's any problems at all. Well, colors are pleasant. I would definitely prefer to have more natural looking greens, but I think that it's might think about all sets of pencils. More light natural looking greens. We don't need such neon colors. But again, for some of the hummingbirds, for the parrots, and even for the highlights on the ocean waves, we can use such colors. But well, I would be switching this one and probably this one for something lighter and something with grayish tint into them. I definitely will use them because I love how they worked on the paper. More pleasant feeling comparing to artisan. Now I will go and grab my castle art swatch and my artisan swatch, and we will try to compare similarity of colors. Here are my two other swatches, Artisa and Pastel Tint by Castle Art. And the biggest difference is the availability of those muted and grayish colors. Colors like peach cream, maybe I will show you better. Those beige tones which are very helpful if you love to color fur or even first layer for the wood. For me it's crucial to have such colors because I color a lot of wooden surfaces. Then those very pleasant light olive green shades, like greenish gray colors, they all are unfortunately not available in this set. We have more colors like this lime coral. So green line definitely not as good as we have here. Also, we don't have such pleasant color as this pearl. I don't think that gray colors are necessary. We have them everywhere, but this pearl and Lakespur and this jade, these three colors, they are definitely very good. So it's another point for pastel tint, and even for artisan we also have similar pleasant grayish colors, which for me are also quite important. Colors like this line, this one, they are very helpful in my coloring, and it's a pity that we don't have them here. But sometimes you have better layering on the paper, sometimes you have better colors. I am sure that I will be using them, maybe apart from those two green colors, but definitely all of this and all of yellow colors, they will be quite helpful. Maybe now I will try to blend them with some of my regular sets, maybe with polychromases, where I always in need of lighter colors to blend them with polychromases to get nice gradients. Maybe with artisan, so we will try. Unfortunately, I don't know how they are in question of regarding their price, because it was a present. But if you definitely in search of your first set of pastel colors, maybe pastel tints is still my favorite from their palette range. It's more useful for more professional coloring. But if you in need of nice working horses for your coloring book, if you know that you create a lot of backgrounds in such colors where you need to cover huge areas to do backgrounds, definitely these pencils with their behavior on the paper, they will be quite helpful. So let's do our final test, and let's blend them with polychromases and with something else from my stash of pencils. I forgot to mention that for me they are quite similar to Faber-Castell Eka pencils. They are not as soft as creamy as Prismacolors, of course. They are similar to Castle Art. They are softer in my opinion comparing to the Black Widow pencils. For me, these pencils, they are slightly drier. I don't know how to explain, but for me sometimes Black Widow from all their sets, they are more dry. And even if they create nice and quite intense coverage, you can see that they are also able to maintain nice thin tip. I think that with Prismacolors, even from such swatch, the tip already would be more blunt, and here we still have nice and thin tip, so quite helpful if you need to color something with delicate details like Rita Berman books or Johanna Basford books. There, those pencils, especially on the good paper in those coloring books, definitely will be very helpful. And color palette is, I think, that quite matching style of Rita Berman and style of Johanna Basford. I did a very quick test, and you can see that you can work with these caress pencils together with polychromoses, and they match quite nicely with many shades of polychromos pencils. I especially need this very light violet. I usually always asking myself why in polychromos pencils we don't have such a light violet, but it worked quite well with different shades of violet, blue violet, and you can start to work either from dark color and then to go to the lighter one, or you can work in more usual way, starting from light shade and going to the more intense color later. So I was quite pleased how they blended. The same thing worked with my bluish turquoise, also a very good addition to create gradients. And the last test was if I can use my white Prismacolor to make color slightly more pastel and soft looking. And yes, you can lighten even these caress pencils, couple of shades lighter with a white Prismacolor. I think that white Prismacolor actually works with everything, so with these pencils also. I definitely will try to put them somewhere in my pencil cases to be able to create those gradients more easily, to remember that I have such a set which can be blended with other brands. Well, I think that I will also try to color something in Rita Berman books with these pencils. I think that they will be perfect for her style and for her small and very delicate images. Thank you, and if you have your own opinion about caress pencils, especially about their bigger set, I will be very happy to hear. Thank you, and until my next videos.